Matty Griffin, he's not worried about all that, although he would have been concerned that the D's didn't get the chockies over the Crows up there in Darwin, being a big Melbourne fan. But he's got bigger fish to fry this week. He's got the Open Championship at Royal Birkdale. He's just played a practice round. He's been good enough to join us on the Breakfast Club. Good morning, Matty.
Good morning, guys.
You concerned about the D's performance, just quietly?
Not so much. We're hoping we get a few of our boys back on the park in the next week or two, and I think they'll be right.
A balanced perspective. I like that from you, Matthew. What about Royal Birkdale? You got the Open Championship. A very exciting week, I'm sure, for you to be a part of one of the great tournaments on the golfing calendar. And what did you make of the course?
The course is fantastic. It's a real test. I think if the wind's predicted to blow a bit as the week goes on, and whoever's there on top on Sunday will really deserve the win. When
you get there and you know that you're a part of the Open Championship week and all that goes with it, the hoopla that goes with being a part of an Open Championship, what is it like when you walk into the course for the first time, knowing that it's going to be a massive week for you?
I think it's definitely a place where the hairs on the back of your neck stand up as you walk in. There's so much history, and just looking at it's such a incredible. You look into the 18th green, and it almost looks like you're standing outside the MCG. The stands are so big. It's definitely a different feeling to any other tournament I've played in my career to date.
But when you go there and it's link styles golf, do you get a sense of confidence? Being Australian, we have the sandbelt courses over here. It feel a little bit more comfortable than the types of greens and that the Americans play on.
Yeah, I think so for sure. It's much closer to the golf we play at home. It's very, very different, but it is a similar style to what we have back at home. The greens aren't nowhere near as fast what they are in America, and really important to be straight off the tee. There's a lot of here at Birkdale. There's a heap of nice fairway bunkers that'll grab your ball, and from most of them today, it looked like you're chipping out sideways if you are. So you definitely have to be straight off the tee, and I've been able to get here a little bit earlier and played a bit of golf in Scotland last week, which has been a really nice lead-in.
So, Matt, when you were on the golf course, you've just literally got off the golf course at Royal Birkdale. What are you doing? How many balls do you hit? How many hours are you actually out there? And what are you trying to learn about the golf course before it gets serious later in the week?
Really trying to find out how the course plays depending on the breeze. So today we had a nor'wester, and later in the week I think we're expected to turn around to the south. So you're trying to hopefully, in your practice stage, hoping to play the course in a couple of different breezes. So you work out where you can hit off the tee, where the best place to be is. And then also the other thing is you're just trying to, I guess you're really scanning around the golf course to see where's the rough longer, where can I miss it if I do hit a bad shot, and just, I guess, trying to negotiate the best path to the best score around Birkdale.
So do you literally take notes? Or is it just more mental notes as you're walking around with your caddy with those sort of situations? Because as you were talking about, I've checked the weather forecast. It is meant to blow really heavily later in the week. So how important are those things? Because I know how big you are on course management.
Yeah, really important. I think a little bit of both with taking mental notes, and then you also, they do, at these tournaments, you get great yardage books, so provide you with a lot of detail, and you just writing little notes in the book and crossing out areas that are no-go zones, and I guess finding those places if it does get really windy that you can sort of, I guess, take the safest route. And for me as well, I always found course management to be a bit of a strength. So if I can hopefully do that as best as possible, it gives me a chance to try and get up there in the leaderboard.
Do your expectations change at major championships, Matty, in terms of what you expect from yourself? Not so much where you finish, but the way you play. Is there a major factor that kicks in, or a different element to your game?
I think you definitely know that the golfing world's watching. Whereas you go playing a regular tournament in Japan, there's people that are close to you, and a lot of mad golf fans would see the results. But when there's a major championship on, everyone that's interested in sport is generally watching, especially with the Open. So I guess that does heighten things a bit. But I'm trying my best just to treat it as a normal week, which the reality is that when I stand on the first tee on Thursday, it won't be a normal week. But just trying to treat it as much as just going out there to play golf and try and really soak up the atmosphere and have a bit of fun. And I think that'll be the best way that I'll play my best is if I can do that.
We've been talking a little bit in the last month or so about the world of golf and the fact that there's no real... The dominant forces of recent years aren't the dominant forces of now. Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy and Jason Day have all had their issues through the journey. They're not dominating tournaments like they used to, particularly the big ones. Do you think that's good for the game? And do you think that players like yourself and other guys who have played on different tours around the world that perhaps don't get a big start on the big tours get to these tournaments and think that they're a better chance than perhaps maybe 5-10 years ago?
Yeah, I think it's great for golf. One of the great things with golf compared to other sports, say like tennis, you're probably looking, there's 3 or 4 guys in the world that get dominate most of the time, whereas in golf there's a chance that the guy ranked 200th in the world could win the Open. It's there's so many good players around, and there's a real depth. There's probably really 20 to 30 guys that are sort of at the top of their games that are really good chances to win this week. So it's definitely a hard one to tip, and I think it's great for golf in general that there is a lot of talent coming through, people coming from all parts of the globe as well.
Matt, just want to go back to that course management, but also what you take in your bag. I've heard golfers, when they win a tournament, they say afterwards, I've taken the driver out of the bag for this week. Is that something you look at with the weather or the way the course is set up? You make those small adjustments as well?
Yeah, definitely. It's I normally play with a driver 3-wood and a 3-iron through, but I think this week because the course is so varied off the tee, there's so many different shots you need to hit. I'm actually thinking I'll probably drop out a wedge and carry a 2-iron as well, just because you're going to need so many different shots off the tees, which shows how good a golf course it is.
Now we've got to ask you, how's the form? Because I know you had a bit of an injury issue a little while back, but how have you been hitting the golf ball?
Yeah, the form's pretty good. It's I missed the cut at my last start in Japan, but fortunately was able to get here early and played plenty of golf over here. Played 4 rounds, a couple at Prestwick, one at Royal Troon where the Open was last year, and at another course, and shot a couple of good numbers and feel pretty happy with where the game sits at the moment.
Well, hopefully it sits beautifully at the end of the weekend as well, Matty. We'll be watching very, very closely to see how you go there at Royal Birkdale for the Open Championship. You are one of our favourites here in the Breakfast Club. We wish you the best, mate. Enjoy the week.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.